This is a gang that looks terrible. And it's incredibly bold. They deliberately kill people
to be taken by the police to a place called the Sound. And this is also the world.
what we humans call the world beyond, after having passed away, even though I was arrested here.
But these bandits still don't grieve. Suddenly, there's a metal ball that emits a sound wave.
With super VI frequency, it
Let the actions of all police officers
slowed down. The bandits are not affected.
take this opportunity. They quickly took the gold
From the evidence room and ran away.
Why do they want this gold so badly? They were all dead.
What else can you eat? It started with a guy named Nick. In the mutant world, he's called a Deadpool. But in this world, he's a cop. I have a gentle and kind wife named Julia. In a chase for drug criminals, Nick and his partner Bobby.
I've discovered a lot of gold. Because of the police salary.
That's why they both got greedy. Keep the gold as your own. Bobby, I put some in my water heater at home.
Nick buried some in his backyard and put it on a little tree to disguise it.
The next day at the police station,
Nick felt guilty about his conscience.
with the VI appropriating such gold, it's no different than being a criminal. So Nick decided, I'll hand over the gold to the evidence department. I hear that.
Bobby was desperate and convinced Nick not to do it. Because if you hand over the gold,
Then we won't have a chance to change our lives. But
Nick was determined to do one man's right.
the police do.
And he assured Poppy that you'll never denounce your partner. There is an urgent news at this time.
The police found out.
The lair of the drug lords.
Notorious immediately. The entire police force rushed to the ghetto, sprinkled with the spirit of justice,
Nick is very energetic and brave.
chasing the criminals alone. Where did Bobby come from and shoot him?
Nick fell down, dead ground on the spot, because this guy's afraid. Nick will report his theft of gold.
A second later, Nick's soul came out of his body. The scenery around you is kind of frozen.
I still don't know that I'm dead. So I don't understand what's going on. When I look up at the sky, Nick sees a big black hole.
It has a very strong pull.
So he pulled Nick's soul soaring up.
Around you,
There are thousands of other souls who are similarly attracted. Nick was taken to a room.
in front of you is Judge Potter.
I came to this country and Nick thought I was dreaming. Potter just explained that you're dead.
And here is the organ that manages the order of the astral yin. The souls after death
Will be sucked in.
and be judged by the council of the astral. If you qualify, you would go to heaven, or you will be sent to hell.
The reason is that Nick has the skills of a cop.
That's why the judge is sitting here.
Interview and recruit him to the RPD force.
In short, it's a ghost police station if you accept it.
Then we'll take you back to Boston.
Your hometown.
Nick agreed with me as soon as he heard it. Because this is your chance to see your wife again.
Julia immediately.
Bloggers use magic. He's got a T-negative police badge on his chest. Bloggers say that.
This job will have a term of 100 years.
Then,
The judge led Nick through the air. And then we go into another area.
this is the prison that holds the deados. It's also called Inferno.
That's because 150,000 people die every day.
The T-sound system can't handle it. That's why the Indians overtook that opportunity. To escape through the river of life and death to return to the world.
So,
Nick's job is to get those scoundrels back here. To stabilize the order of nature.
and this is the AFBD headquarters in Boston. Working structure here.
It is the same as on Earth. Nick is a new employee.
So we need to have a veteran led.
It's called I.
He's been working here for over 200 years. Right now,
There's a big black guy who wants to run away. I don't think there's a lot of I. A bullet that melts to ash.
your uncle's show.
Makes Nick feel itchy. I itself doesn't like a rookie. Inexperienced as Nick.
But the judge ordered it.
Nick will be your partner from now on.
Instant R led Nick to go on duty, to return to the world. They use a teleportation gate.
It's this toilet.
Nick went to the cemetery. Watch your own funeral. It's sad to see Julia's expression.
You can't help but run to your wife. Baby, it's me. I'm back.
But Julia doesn't know who you are,
The ballpoint pen guy standing nearby.
and all the police around. No one can recognize you. So they dragged me out of the funeral.
Nick went back to Arwa. He said no one would recognize you as right.
Because when I was a shadow cop,
Then we'll have a different identity and voice. It is completely in the human eye. Nick looks like an old Chinese man. Is a hot girl.
have a sexy body.
I want to drool and not love you.
This is how the universe works, not to reveal your true identity.
Of an RPD employee.
So the elephant started taking Nick on a mission to try your job.
He said that while he was alive,
He used to be a law enforcer. He was killed by his own partner. This is similar to Nick's case,
in his day, women were very discreet.
not as open as now.
Look at this driver. Why do you look like a cougar? Go according to intelligence news.
In this building, there's an inferno hiding.
So RI and Nick came here immediately.
Once inside the building,
RI gave Nick a magazine. You can kill the inferno.
but you have to shoot them in the head to make it work. Based on years of experience, then RI knows that the inferno have a very heavy temperament.
So that's where they hide.
The surrounding grass and trees are destroyed, the walls are wet and the lights go out.
Very unusual. Follow these clues. They both went to the house of a man named Sally
Two posing as employees of the health department.
to enter the interrogation.
We suspect you are the one who's dead.
There's no such thing. If you don't believe me, you can check my pulse. Slow down, man. Let me enjoy this chicken curry rice.
The boy next to me asked Kelly.
Where did you go on Wednesday night? Kelly was upset when she tried to answer. When I look at the box of curry,
The smell of this makes him sick.
then automatically reappears in the original image.
Of course, he is a man with a wide mouth. You see, Inferno's obsessed with curry.
Nick pulled out the handcuffs, but I don't know how to use it. I accidentally handcuffed myself and the enemy, the angry zombie.
Tore open the refrigerator door and threw it at R.
Then he tore off his arm and gave it to me.
Nick ran to the window and jumped out. What are you doing?
Follow him, young man.
So,
But it's too high for Nick to jump for fear of death. God, we are dead, and we are afraid of death.
this young man, after falling from above, hide down.
Nick was surprised that he didn't, but it's also painful.
Angry, he took the zombie's arm.
Whip hard at the opponent's quail egg, and then I hit him in the face. Make the man open his mouth to pieces of gold.
They're shaped like pieces of gold.
I was buried alive.
Nick didn't notice. It mouthed to attack. You've been shot by R. After this,
Uncle R.R. decided to give Nick a seat,
except for the test paper.
because it's almost a meal for the big mouth guy.
Loved this decision.
Nick threw R.I. on the bus,
And he ripped off his beloved cowboy hat. And then they both went back to RPD headquarters very upset. But the important thing is in front of you, is to return the exhibits to the evidence room.
with detective thinking. Nick felt these pieces of gold metal. There's definitely something mysterious. Why does Stelly want to protect the gold? So I want R.I. to keep investigating with me.
This is probably, immediately,
Uncle R took Nick to a messenger named Ilios, and he is also a soldier.
Nick took the gold and asked me what it was. But the name Elios says, I don't know anything about this metal. There's no way.
Nick had to leave the gold for Ilios to investigate.
Let me know if you have any information. I thought after you two left. Elios ran to meet someone with the gold.
That's the ballpoint pen jerk. By the snake's trick out of the cave.
Nick knew who was behind it.
That's my partner.
He took the gold from Ilios. Bobby drove straight to Julia's house. Both approached the house. Let's see what the guy wants to do. Turns out Bobby just wanted to ask Julia before he died. Did Nick do anything strange or not? Remember that late night? Julia, I saw Nick digging in the ground and planting this apple tree. Bobby immediately pulled it up.
I found a bag of gold buried there.
See that? Julia thought that her husband had embezzled Tang evidence. For this reason, Bobby can naturally take the gold to investigate. But he didn't go to the police station.
I went to the airport to meet a fat guy. Then Bobby handed over the suitcase of gold and left. Nick and Uncle R are watching,
Nearby, a man came to flirt with her.
because you see R's body.
Is Hot going to get an 8 oyster porridge to soup?
Angry Uncle R scolded the goat god quickly disappeared,
And then they both ran over.
grabbed the fat guy by the neck, and threw him in the fresh meat room. Although, I can't see the real Nick and R.
But the fat guy knows you're a cop.
Nick interrogated the enemy. Tell me about the source of gold, or you'll get punched.
To hear the threat,
Fat guy is not afraid, but angry face-to-face powder. Then immediately he appeared,
he is a great warrior as big as a sumo fighter.
and then break down the door and run out into the street.
His feet seem to have a gravitational pull, so it can run on any plane.
Whether it's upright or on your side. Oh, I saw that.
Shot an arrow to pull the fat guy down.
But the enemy is too strong to pull back.
But RIVA into buildings.
I saw a hot girl being dragged out.
People lost you. It should cause a traffic accident.
Accidentally, a car splashed across your neck.
Up here,
The elephant tried to hold onto the cable that held the fat man back.
people thought Nick was dead, but you stand up, in the shape of a human.
With a banana in his hand, he shoots a bullet up.
The fat guy saw that.
He knocked on the glass door and stormed into an office. Follow the model.
I see beautiful girls. The director adjusted his clothes. Nick rushed into the building. I saw the fat guy.
Trying to get into the elevator. Nick shot the cable.
Makes the elevator go straight up.
Fat guy crashed through the ceiling. But finally, the fat guy got away.
Nick's functional handled VO Lee go out of the elevator, without getting hurt at all. Both immediately returned to headquarters.
Report back to the judge.
Right now,
The top perpetual lump sends down a roll of information.
these pieces of gold metal, these are the pieces of a machine.
It's called the Deadpool Star.
What the hell is that?
Can you explain it better?
Usually when someone has just died, would be sucked into the incoming black hole, the world over there. And this is a one-way street. But
When Deadpool's holy staff is activated, then this one-way line will be reversed. Then the souls will return to the world. Humanity will be destroyed 5,000 years ago. This machine was destroyed. I can't believe it's coming back now.
even though the situation is critical,
But because they both caused a riot in the streets, so they've been permanently suspended. There will be a hearing tomorrow to try you. If guilty of destroying the world,
you will be wiped out of space.
although I also want to help, but this is beyond your control.
The judge was upset.
Nick went to the stadium to see his wife. One last time. I tried to tell Julia that I was Nick.
So, but with this shape, why would she believe it? It hurts me to talk to the elephant. This is what happened.
It's all in.
Poppy the scumbag stabbed me in the back.
But I don't understand one thing.
If Poppy was human,
Why? He's got something to do with the metal.
of the inferno,
From here, Nick speculates, Poppy may also be an underdog. But why doesn't he smell like death gas?
I hear that.
Oh, I said that. There's a kind of spell that can cover up the gas.
And Nick remembered that. Poppy always wears it on his wrist. Holy Christopher medal. Sure.
It's the sacred thing that helps him mask the smell of death.
So the next morning,
Nick and Royce ran to Bobby's house. In order to investigate, Julia called him again.
she was thrilled to say,
My uncle came into the funeral the other day.
maybe it's Nick, because last night,
You felt the familiarity from him. Accidentally, your emotions. He helped Bobby realize that Nick was a cop.
why beat?
Quickly, Bobby took out half of the metal ball.
The other half was last night.
He gave it to his friends. Nick and Uncle R.I. burst into the house with guns.
Poppy didn't dare to move.
But hands up in surrender. Take off the Christopher medal for me. Poppy's aura immediately radiated. It makes the house rotten.
Of course, this guy is real.
It's a dead man who's cracked the whole house in two. Quickly, Uncle R.I. also found the gold. They immediately escorted Poppy back to the RPD headquarters,
Then return all the gold to the evidence room.
along with half the metal sphere.
Before that, the evil bandits.
Poppy's accomplices were also arrested here. Bobby's purpose was to let Nick catch her.
It's because you wanted two halves of the sphere to come together.
Then it emits a Super 6 frequency. It makes the actions of all the police officers.
Slow down. The bandits are not affected.
Take this opportunity. They are quick hands. Take all the gold from the evidence room
And escape to the world.
until Nick shoots the ball. It's too late to stop the sound waves.
The robbers brought pieces of metal for my building.
Fire stash, then quickly assemble.
The staff of SD.
Despo,
The fat man and his men stood in ambush.
block the road below.
Let no one come in. Our PD forces are now in space. I met the fire of the monster.
Shot to the saloon. When the enemy runs out of ammunition, Uncle R.I. and Nick rushed out with skill.
Of a western cowboy to centuries ago.
The elephant easily shot down the soldiers.
No matter where you hide, you get shot.
Under the influence of the scepter, the world began to see tornadoes.
Destroy this city.
But to reverse the path of reincarnation,
Poppy needs more of Julia's blood. Sacrifice, therefore.
he let his men catch the girl. Take your beer to the building, Steve. Now Bobby doesn't have to hide his identity.
It's a holotype with a cracked head.
R.I. and Nick rush to stop Bobby. They are under pressure from the soldiers.
This time, Nick will take the wheel.
To cut off the tail of the inferno,
With virtual skill, you took advantage of the collapse. Let the other cars crush the scoundrels. At this time, I met the fat sumo who rushed straight to me.
The car is unforgiving.
Nick goes straight to the wall.
Then they both picked up guns and sent the fat guy off to nowhere.
At the top, the reporters who were reporting live were caught by the VA.
A car fell down.
By now, Bobby had built the core of the power machine. Stick. Immediately, the line between the two worlds opened up.
It makes the sky dark. I and Nick just arrived.
Bobby stabbed Julia in the back with an iron rod.
Her blood is quickly sucked into the core of the star, and then it shoots up the reincarnation road.
A ray of thunder.
It causes the gravitation pull of the black hole to be reversed.
All souls begin to fall into the world.
I and Nick rush to work together, shoot down the surrounding soldiers. Then they split up into two courses of action. Nick's going to save Julia. I will be in charge of destroying the scepter. When Nick killed all the Inferno, he ran out of bullets. You have to use your power to fight Bobby, but he's too strong. Excess time to win. Bobby picked up the concrete and jumped in,
Banging on Nick's head.
then he threw me inside. The elephant did his best. Still can't break the staff.
He took the cable and threw it on the car above. Then pulled it down and smashed the scepter machine. Immediately, the path of reincarnation disappears, and the souls are drawn back to the world beyond. As soon as Bobby detect the incident and come back,
Nick had a gun in his face.
goodbye, straight up.
I was seriously injured earlier.
So, Julia fell between life and death. So,
I was able to see Nick's face. Actually, I've been watching you.
I know you're the guy at the stadium. This moment of emotional reunion, it made two people cry.
Take the opportunity. They quickly applied some porridge to the enemy.
Julia woke up in the hospital.
It's all because the judge became a doctor to heal Julia's wounds. It's the end of everything. I and Nick took the blame. That's why eternity has allowed you to continue
Police girl.
to applaud the work of the elephant.
The judge bought another cowboy hat.
Give it to me. It is the shape of the flower. I can see why it's so lame. So Nick expected his superiors to change shape.
And it's passed. But, this time it exceeded my expectations. This old man, are you playing me?